Welcome everybody to the We3Kingz Podcast. I am your host, Pharaoh, and not to my left because I don't know who's here, but one of my co-hosts, Mike,
Yes, sir. Your boy is here.
and my other co-host, Steven, Black Summer,
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
and of course our, guest, soon to be fourth member, possibly Shrunk Dragonfly.
What up? What up?
All right, y'all. So we got a good topic today. Well, few topics, but we're gonna start off strong, start off with a good one. We're gonna talk about nice guys and pick me girls.
I was gonna call him
Now,
nice girl. Jesus Christ.
I mean, the nice girls are called pick me's. That's what they're called.
Damn, that was. I mean, yeah. Okay,
So
hold
yeah,
on.
so like what are y'all thoughts on that, man?
All right, who's starting?
All right,
All
so
right,
I'm gonna pull up the Urban Dictionary because you know how we like to do. We like to provide facts for you. There's two
all right.
definitions, right? The first definition, nice guy. Oh shit, I can't get it. The first being a guy who is genuinely kind and caring. He is polite to everyone regardless of sex, age, or race. He has no alternative motive, i.e., he's nice to not get a reward. He behaves as such because it's human decency. Golly, I struggled in school. You tell that. Second, second kind of nice guy is the one who has alternative motives. He believes that because he behaves in a certain way that the world owes him for his actions. He doesn't make it clear what he desires from the beginning and becomes angry when he doesn't get what he wants. Nice guy.
That's tough. That's very tough.
So, if we're gonna be honest, we're talking about the latter. Actually, why do I say that like I know how to use that in the
I
sentence?
mean, you use it right though. So
When we
you
talk
did use it
about
right.
nice guys, we usually talk about the second definition more than anything.
Yeah, we're talking about the nigga that has ulterior motives. That's what we're talking about.
And that's where the term nice guy where becomes incels. Let's just keep it a buck. If you don't know what incel is, it's short for involuntarily celibate. It's dudes who try to get something but they can't because they are quote unquote nice guys.
Hmm.
Whenever I hear the term nice guy, nice girl, the reason why I say nice guy, nice girl is because a pick me is a little bit different than a nice girl. Well, eh,
I mean,
barely.
I'm not up to date on these new terms,
Nah, you're right. A pick me is not really too different from what a nice guy would be, but I guess a pick me would be more like a white knight, like the equivalent. But it doesn't matter. Nice guy, nice girl, alternative murders, whatever. So whenever I hear men, especially young men, say, "Why don't XYZ like me, man, woman, whatever?" I am a nice guy. Oh, okay, cool. But are you a good man? Are you a good person? Do you have any qualities other than being nice? Because nice is a basic level of human decency in which you should be. If all you are is nice, but you broke, you're a mama's boy, you stay at home with your parents, depending on your age, but life's hard. You ain't got no emotional maturity. You ain't got nothing but being nice. That's why you get rejected. That's my thought on it. But what do I
Yeah,
know?
basically you don't have nothing. You don't have
You ain't
nothing
got no
to give.
qualities to being nice.
Yeah, no type of no type of hobbies or stuff you can talk about, whatever. If you do, either you don't know too much about it or you're just not confident enough in explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
So it may seem like you don't have anything.
Uh,
Either way is not a good look.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's
So what y'all got to say about it?
For me, I mean, it's not a. I wouldn't say it's always a terrible thing, but what I will say is, I would say take care of your mental health. Yeah, that's always probably the most important. Cause like you don't take care of it, you just get upset with a whole lot of things. Like when you talk about incels earlier, Steve. Like a lot of them men, they stuck, boy. I'm talking about like just bad, like cause not everybody gonna return your feelings to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes some people might just ignore you. It's a weird world out there. I can say that. That's all I got to say on it, really.
That's a real point you brought up, by the way, the mental health part of it. 'Cause that's definitely a big part of why things don't go their way. Kind of like puts themselves in a downward spiral in a sense.
Yeah, it's very important, cause like I want to say if you don't take care of it, like if you're always on edge and always just you don't have nothing in order, you kind of just all over the place. You ain't gonna be able to attract nobody, friends, family, or
Yeah, you'll
girls.
eventually become what you
Yeah,
hate.
you'll be lost. And in today's the way social media in the world work, being lost is not a great thing. Especially you fall down that whole amp, it's over for you.
I wouldn't say it's over.
Nah,
It's just hard to get up.
nah, it's over for you, bro.
Nah,
Boy, you
nah.
get lost in that sauce, boy, you be at the bottom of the cauldron. You heard me?
You better fix it now.
It's not over for you guys. It's not over. It's just
I
gonna
will
be.
say
It
in
just
my
gets
own
harder.
personal experience that I will stick my head out there and say that back in sophomore sophomore freshman year, I did go through that phase myself where I was a nice guy. Maybe not to the extent where I was expecting some type of interpersonal or sexual gratification, but I did go through that phase where I viewed in order to get close to a girl, I pretty much just did whatever they wanted, whatever they asked, and kind of just went out my way to, in hopes that to the extent get their attention and maybe go from there. Looking back, I can see and say that that was a unhealthy approach towards it all. And I know there are some people out there, a lot of, not even just guys, but a lot of people, for a good majority of them, it's a phase. But then there are others who probably take it a step further and make it their way of life or how they view themselves being entitled to certain things in individuals. So I will say the whole nice guy thing, it's definitely something to be concerned about and really think and take a step back, especially if you ever find yourself in a position where you're constantly asking, why am I not getting this? And I'm seeing others get this. Why can't I get that? Or you're checking all the boxes, you're doing exactly what they're saying, and you're still seeing no result. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of things, both men and women, we say we want certain things, but we don't, like before the last conversation we had, hold ourselves accountable to that. So I think it's really something a lot of us have to take a step back and approach and understand that we can do these things, we can please people, but we also still have to hold our self-respect of who we are and what we want in return. And I believe for at least the male side, that kind of gets confusing from time to time.
Yeah, I do agree that it's all over the place. It's very weird, very weird.
I think what it truly goes back to is our conversation from the last episode when we were saying you're entitled to want what you want, but you're not entitled to someone's response to it. Like just because you want someone to like you doesn't mean that they have to. If that's how the world works, boy, hey, it'd be rough. Cause think about it. If that's how the world works, imagine you want your girl, you get her, but someone else like your girl now that you want to now. It's just the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stick my head out and say it's a little bit harder now than what it was for, especially when you going on to a later topic, but just talk about a little bit of it now about the how we go to our parents for dating advice and how they don't understand it as different than what it is now, especially living in a digital era. I mean, you got to understand, for a lot of us back then, for them, they were dating, going after girls who were probably only known about their community, so they were competing against maybe about 7 or 10 guys. Where now we're competing with a guy who's all the way in India, or all the way, on the other side of the state or whatever. So it's definitely a different climate as far as trying to find the right people you want.
But, I mean, I'd say let's be real. It'd be more than 17 guys for certain females.
I mean, for certain females,
Certain
but then
ones.
you got to think about the majority that we're talking about. Like the average woman back then was probably locally. It wasn't like, on Instagram or Snapchat putting up posts and
Hmm.
getting response from, say we're living here and any other person, about 30 miles up the road with
The
20
girl,
other people.
the
So,
girl
Yeah,
next
yeah.
door.
Back then they had to catch them when they get home from school and stuff, and
yeah.
I think
hope someone else wasn't using the phone or whatever.
I think what dating has become is what our life has become is instant gratification. You can go on, especially I don't say women specifically, but it's a lot easier for women because men. I feel like men's standards are a little bit lower in their pickings, but whatever. That's it. Yeah. So when it comes to dating, it comes to this instant gratification because we can get food at our feet right now. We can get a car picked up to us. Right. We can do almost every. If I want to look something up, I can do it. If I want to find out something, I can do it right now in probably less than 10, 15 seconds. So that translates into our personal lives. Oh, you got to come with this. And a lot of these men and women do not realize how much that actually takes to get to. We grew up seeing our parents we seen them in the fruits of their labor. We didn't see them when they were planting their seeds. And we're in our planting seeds time of our lives. We're young men, young women. We're planting our seeds, developing our careers, getting our skills, saving whatever we're doing for our future. We're planting our seeds now. But when we grew up, we didn't really see that because our parents hid it from us for the most part. They hid certain things from us because it's not their business, when bills and stuff like that. But you saw the fruits of their labor. You saw the house that your parents bought together. You saw the cars that they had. You saw the results, but you didn't see the effort put in. So
I mean that stuff's kind of getting more towards the political side.
yeah, it's getting a little harder to obtain, but it's like we acknowledge that, but
Yeah.
I still think we're also in a trend. I want to say I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a transitional of dating because our parents grew up traditional, so they taught us for not everybody, but I want to say, generally speaking, you're taught some traditional values when it comes to men take care of this, women do this. It's gender roles, but it's not you have to do it. It's kind of like so. What our parents teaching us that, but we're breaking those gender roles for the most part. There's still some seeds left. Like I want a girl who can cook, not because I can't cook. It's because I grew up with women who know how to cook in my life. But with that being said, I know how to change a fucking tire too. I know how to work with my hands. I know how to work around the house. I know how to fix stuff if I need to, or I know how to look it up to find out how to do it. Because that's just traditional stuff that I learned. But I'm perfectly fine splitting bills 50-50. I'm perfectly fine splitting. Oh, I take care of the mortgage, the rent, and you take care of the utilities, the mortgage, whatever you got going on with your life.
Hey, Steve. I was just because
Uh,
just then as you said that I was thinking about something like it's an interesting dynamic that I want to see. It's basically like an experiment or a test going on right now as far as like what we're talking about with men and women dating up and down depending on their class and status and stuff. And a lot more women are
mm-hmm.
moving up. They're making more money than women before. So like we're about to see
Yeah.
something happen with an experiment, as in like, are these women willing to settle down with men who make less, or are they going to keep shooting higher than what they make?
And I want you to hear what you said when you made that statement. Are women going to settle for yada yada yada?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You as a man, you don't think you settle for a woman if she makes less money, do you? Do you? No. For the most part, most men don't think they're settling for a woman because she makes less money or she has less income. So why is it when the roles are reversed, now the woman's settling? That's because we still have some type of traditional aspect that the man should make more money and take care of certain things. If you feel you have to settle because you're making more than your partner, then that just goes so you still hold some traditional values. And I just think a lot of people are selfish. I can't, as a man, want my woman to take care of the house, the kids, the cooking, the cleaning up, but still say, yeah, you gotta go to work. And all I gotta do is just go to work and take care of like the grass and stuff, because that's not a balance. You can't want traditional value. You can't have a traditional partner but live a modern life. You can only do one or the other, and it's kind of hard now to do traditional, because what people don't understand with the traditional lifestyle, men weren't in the homes as often because they had to work so much, because a single income household is still expensive regardless of the time.
Yeah, and it goes back to that money thing too. You know, like a lot of things were cheaper back then. The value of the dollar wasn't as high, so people can afford to, work one.
Even with it being cheaper, men still had to work 12 hours, 10, 12 hours days, because you weren't being paid that much neither. Life was
I
cheaper.
mean, it depends. 8, 10, 12 hours, standard job. Like it was still cheaper. Like some people probably had
Yeah,
to work hard,
life
but
was cheaper, but you're
you know,
still working 10, 12-hour days is what I'm saying. That's that's half the day. That's most of your day, half your day, whatever.
I mean, nothing changed now. I'm just saying, like,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that people don't realize that for these men to take care of that, they had to work all these extravagant hours. And then you have to remember, women didn't have a lot of these same opportunities that men were getting, which is why they were home in the first place. So
hmm
remember, like, you're wanting men to take care. You can't. Men were competing with men for the most part, right? But now men are competing with women too. But you can't want me to make more money than you if you're my competitor at the same time. Because now I have to beat you out and beat out the next dude while beating out the next woman. So I have to beat out 3 different people. Well, 2, but just for specifics. I have to beat out the man and the woman now versus just the man. It's easier to beat out one person than to beat out 2, because women are not talentless or skillless. They're just as good with women. Statistically speaking, I think they're better at multitasking. But they also say multitasking is bad, but regardless. Oh, there's that. That's about that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just for me, it's an interesting social experiment that's going on, and I want to see. I wonder what the result will be.
But
Like
future
how how
pissed the cloud.
how will society shift based off this? You know, that's what really got me thinking.
Let's ask a person in a
I
relationship how he get through with it.
Uh, I mean, for me, everybody's different. I have friends who, we each follow different routes. I have friends who, to this day, let's not get it misconstrued. We're not saying it's a bad thing. Like, if you want to live that traditional lifestyle, you can. Just like Steve said, stick to it. Don't be flip floppy. I have friends who still follow that traditional route where, the man works and the woman just, stays home. I also have, friends who follow even further back to that, where, the woman literally just doesn't work, stays home, cleans, cooks, all that, and the guy goes out and works and makes sure he brings home the bread and the money. And, it works for them. For me, it's as far as the woman making more, I've never really personally given it that much thought. I mean, if she makes more, she makes more. If I make more, I make more. At the end of the day, we're both still coming to the same place, and it's never been a issue for me. And I know in our relationship, we've always, helped and supported each other out. So, I mean, as far as that demographic goes, I mean, it's not something that I really took the time to really think that heavy about. I mean, I still go out and work, do what I have to do. Granted, I do work more hours and stuff, but I mean, I do what I have to do, tend to my own things, and she does hers. So,
I will say, when it comes to dating, you kind of just have to find what works for you. There's no single aspect of dating that works. Some people are monogamous, some people are polyamorous, some people are in open relationships. You just have to find what works for you and find a partner that it works for. There's no point in trying to convince a vegan to eat steak. So just find someone that has the same fundamental aspects of dating that you want.
and also on top of that, remember the conversation we had before where, you also have to look at the chances of you, like increasing the chances of you getting that person. Like the chances of you sitting here and, like Steve said, want someone who's a vegan and you eat meat, and for you two to, still be able to tolerate each other, your eating lifestyles and live together is a lot less than you just going out and finding someone who shares the same exact or similar interest as you do. So it's not just, it's not going to happen. You still have to like consider, okay, am I more likely for this going to happen, or am I more likely for this going to happen? And how much harder am I making it on myself by finding someone who's either complete polar opposite or exactly the same, or somewhere who meets in the middle, who's able to tolerate, and maybe you guys can work on each other and find a common ground.
They say opposites attract, but you're not. It's hard to date someone who's the exact opposite of you because you might not share fundamental things that you need to for a relationship.
And especially understand that as time goes on, your interests will and can change. Don't stay concrete in one way. You might have wanted a particular person you would have liked to imagine yourself with at the end of high school. And then 10 years later, that can change. Or you might want to live a particular lifestyle, and that also can change. And you have to understand and be aware of where the world is and where you're at and adapt to that. So it's really important to get creative and try different avenues to find out what works for you. Because a lot of times, a lot of people are just focused on this one point where they think this is it for me. This is what's going to work. I just know it. I've seen my parents do it and it's worked. I've ever seen my bros do it and it works. My friends, it works. But there could always be a possibility that there's a different type of way that you can go about it, and it can be even better than that. So don't be afraid to, mix it up a little bit, play around with it, try different stuff, and then come back and say, after trying that, I think I really appreciate this way more than I did before. So that also goes back to getting yourself out of a comfort zone.
Boy, that was deep.
Yeah.
Nah, but another aspect of dating and just life in general, we've become and I don't know about y'all, but we've been taught so much about how to be independent that we don't know how to be interdependent with our partners. Yes, as adults, we should be able to pay out, we should be able to cover our bills, feed ourselves, wash our clothes, yada yada. Cool. But now, how do you learn how to live with someone in your space? How do you learn how to interact with someone on a day-to-day basis? How do you learn how to trust someone but not become so codependent that if they left, you couldn't take care of yourself, but still have the ability to say, here, I trust you with this. I trust that you're going to handle your part of utilities or rent, whatever, here, or whatever aspect. Money is a big aspect in dating, but it's the easiest example to use.
That's definitely a true statement. I think a lot of us also need to be aware of the fact that dating someone and then actually living together and seeing what they do behind the scenes versus you just taking them out is a completely different experience. You could be dating someone for weeks, months, and think you know them, and then when you start living to them, it's like, well, damn, I didn't know you did this or did that, or I can't believe you did that, and it's not in line with you're used to and how you function. And I think we should just be more aware of, finding again like a common ground and things that we should be able to address and communicate. I think that's another really important part of a relationship is being able to communicate and not just having the fun, silly talks, but having the more hard, serious talks about, well, I don't really like it when you do this. Well, I don't really like it when you do that. Can you do this? And, just talk to each other. Like, yeah, you're dating, but I feel like a lot of us often at times when we're in relationships, we kind of avoid the harder talks and discussions out of fear of maybe shaking a little bit, if not losing that relationship entirely. And what happens is down the road, you end up finding yourself having these starting off microaggressions, and it just escalates from there into becoming a whole issue underlining with other small topics. Like I know I've been in a relationship before where, there were certain things I didn't appreciate where she'll just leave. Just leave out of the middle of nowhere, don't say anything, and it's like, okay, it's 8 o'clock at night. You don't have to tell me everywhere you go, but I kind of get worried when you just like pack up and leave, or other small stuff where it's just, if you're the type of person who likes a house moderately neat, then you come across someone who's just, I don't care, it is what it is. Those type of moods and the way they live, it kind of just becomes a conflict with you. So I think it's something really important to address and just sit down and talk about your interests, their interests, what you expect, what they expect, how you want to go about doing things, how they want to go about doing things. Because a lot of times those hard discussions actually bring the two of you closer, and it's what part of keeping an actual strong relationship lasting longer.
I will say something also. The important part about communication is comprehension. There's no point in us talking if we speak in two different languages. Because the difference between how we communicate, the importance of comprehension is, let's use his example. You're leaving out at 8 o'clock, right? And you're not telling me that you're going out or where you're leaving. If we have this conversation, you're either going to hear control or you're going to hear compassion. Oh, he's trying to stop me, control me. He want to be all up in my business, tell me what to do, and this. Or you're going to hear he's concerned for my safety, so I should at least let him know what I'm doing. That's the difference between that's comprehension, and that. So if you don't learn how to speak to each other in a way that you can hear each other, it don't matter what you say, because what's heard, what's interpreted is what's going to be. That's going to matter. Yeah, that's that part of that's that right there.
I do want to ask everybody, as far as the traditional sense, going back to our parents, I have noticed that a lot of us have taken that route. What our parents did was basically, you finish high school, you go to college, you get a degree, you try to get a degree in that field, you pay off your college, what you owe in college, and then after that, you get your house, you get your car, and from there you just live your life with your kids. I want to ask, how do all of you feel about that aspect, and if that has changed versus during their time with now, do you still think that following that path is best? Is it okay to, finish high school, maybe get, you know, just go into the workforce, maybe learn a skill, not always having to go to college, not always having to feel like, your next step is to get a house, even though you really don't want one. You don't know the financial like experience or understanding on what it takes to actually own and have a house or have kids or get that expensive car. Do you think it's important for us to discuss on, is that still something that we should continue to follow, or you should just express yourself and branch out from taking that path that they've always might have told you while growing up?
I mean, that's really all you can do.
Well, I'd say that you know I can say pretty much for all our parents are they're very quote unquote old school. So it would be
Mhm.
you know if you don't go to college, you would need to get a job. And it's just how they were raised. It's how they see it. Because you got to also add on to the fact that we are all young black men. So for them, that's the only way you can get ahead is if you play by those rules. You step outside those lines, you're not going nowhere. But things have changed. You know, technology has gotten better. There's a whole world of opportunities out here now because of how connected the world is now. And like at this point,
Yeah.
that is something you have to figure out yourself personally if you want to keep on the path of what your parents say versus what you want to do. That's all just personal growth there. You know, for me personally, at my age, 25, it's become increasingly realized to me that that traditional route isn't necessarily my cup of tea. So since I don't go that traditional route, whether they like it or not, I have to figure out my own life, and I got to make stuff work for me. So, to answer your question, I feel like everybody should indeed, go the route that they desire because that's the only way you're gonna be able to have a fulfilling life is if you do what you want to do.
Yeah, I've just been kind of curious because I've seen so many of my friends try to follow that route and have had a difficult time trying to achieve that and just struggle. And I've just seen outside of my friends, but even coworkers put themselves in positions that they weren't really ready for or were really aware of what comes with it and just struggled because of it in order to achieve that goal or path their parents might have set for them. So,
I would also add on to that. My parents didn't do this, but I know some parents will push what they want on the kids as like a side point. Like they will push kids to try to push them into certain professions or push them into what they want their kids to take because that makes the most money. From what we heard, like go do that. Sometimes it's not always that simple. Like it's a certain level of like kind of like what Steve was talking about, like a certain level of comprehension like behind a lot of these skills. And honestly, though, some of them you could figure out with a Google search. Is some of them degrees ain't really what they was or what they supposed to be.
Alright, I guess it's my turn. So I have
Feel about it.
a little bit to unpack. Let's start off with the beginning. Your success is going to be dictated by what you see as successful. One person's success might not be another's. Like having a wife, kids, picket fix, $2, and your kids running around might be successful. Someone being able to travel the world freely might be considered successful. Everyone's success is a little different, so let's start with that. Secondly, I think that we need to. How do I say this? Be real when we make our decisions. A lot of us will see the end results of certain choices, but not see the work it took to get there. Whether it's a traditional, you go to college and get a degree, or you go into the workforce and get a skill, or you go the new age route and try to start on social media, whatever. I think a lot of people do not do their due diligence in doing their research. There's nothing wrong with taking the traditional route in terms of going to school. Great. Don't go get a liberal arts degree just to say you got a degree, but you don't have nothing. You're not getting a degree with purpose. You're getting a degree for the sake of saying you have a degree, and now you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because you wanted to for for status that don't no one care about. But now you're going into the workforce just to work. Now you're working I don't say a dead end job, but you're working a job that's providing you no skills for the next 20, 30, 40 years, and you got nothing to show for it. There's nothing wrong with hard work, but you can't pass hard work down to generations because hard work is subjective. Oh, I worked this job for 20, 30 years. Here's what hard work, that's what I got to get you. I can't teach you how to do nothing. I can't show you nothing. I just work hard at my job. Cool. That's just, And then with the new age social media, there's a plethora of avenues for you to, I don't want to say make it, but to do social media. But what people fail to realize is with a lot of people who do social media, they're doing social media with something going on. I don't want to say we missed, but there was a time like on early YouTube where you could do a reaction channel, people fucking with your reaction channel, boom. I don't say you made it, but it was a little bit easier to get into it because people were kind of connecting to you through that. You got now they branch off and they got family channels, and now with this new age YouTube, you can't do a goddamn thing, to be honest with you. But regardless, or whether you want to do TikTok, Instagram Reels, whatever, there's a plethora of ways to do social media. But success on social media looks different for everybody. Like, let's take Flight Reacts. Flight Reacts, totality, you know what I'm saying. His overall subscriber count is much higher than that of Cash Nasty. But they're both successful. I take Cash Nasty's success, to be honest with you, but they're both different successes. But then you have
Cash been up there for years. Cash got a longevity.
exactly. But then you might have channels that only get maybe 100,000 subscribers, 500,000. That's still a lot of fucking people. I don't care what nobody say. They aren't big channels, but they're consistently good channels. That might be their success. Your financial support might not be enough to let you live like you might not be able to live off. Okay, say you do social media, you might not be able to live off the money that you make, but you're doing something that makes you happy, and your job might pay for that. Your job just might be a means to ends. Like say we were doing YouTube through a camera, we might work a job to help pay for the equipment, but the YouTube is what you enjoy doing. You might go to work to pay for school to get whatever degree that you want. You go to school to get the job to pay for the lifestyle that you want. So when we just hold these things in these single pathways of life, that's when we hurt ourselves. You go to school to get a degree, but you didn't research your degree to find out if it was even worth going to fucking school for. Like, almost no one needs to go. I'm not gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. But there's almost no reason to go to school to get a business degree, unless you're trying to work for somebody, really. But it's still a good degree. It might, and then sometimes you're paying for things that you could learn online for free, but school gives you a pathway to take to get to this information that you might struggle to find on yourself. So it's kind of like paying someone to change your
Yeah, it might also give you people to talk to, networking stuff.
and networking. Yeah. So like all of us probably have the ability to learn how to change out the oil in our car relatively quick, but you'll pay someone else to do it. That's what school is. You can literally look all that shit up online, but you're paying someone to teach you how to do whatever it is you're trying to do. And when you go into the workforce, I'm a welder, so I have a skill set that I can use. Once I get even better at it, you can't take it from me. But that's for my own personal thing. I mess with Amph and tell him he should join the shipyard just to fuck with him. But I know that's not what he wants to do. But because I know I have an idea what Amph wants to do. I mess with you, Mike, about it because I be messing with you. I be telling Mel that he keep talking about he want to do it. And he want to sit around and paint these goddamn golf balls all day. But also, listen to how the message is delivered. Because our parents are telling this to us because they want us to be successful. And in their time, going to school, having a degree, you didn't just go to school to get a degree. You went and got to school to become a lawyer, maybe to become a doctor, maybe to become I'm running out of people, a nurse, whatever other shit, to start businesses or whatever. So that's why they pushed school, because they were factory workers, they were farmers, they were whatever that wasn't getting paid the money. So that's why they pushed going to school. Now school has become a business, so it's too expensive. So yeah, that's my thing. If you're gonna pick a path, research your path before you take it, because you have no excuse not to know this information. Oh, I didn't know my degree was useless. Did you look it up? No.
Oh Lord. Hey, Steve, I would also like to add to be careful what you say on social media, because they can. I've noticed now a lot of companies they are tracking your social media and or
That
like
goes
anything and
for
everything that you say can and will be used against
what I don't understand about that is when we were growing up, like 12, 13, our parents taught us that.
Mm-hmm.
Careful what you say online, because you can't get rid of it once it's out there. They instilled that into us. Mind you, this is before social media even becomes a big thing. This is back in like MySpace era, AOL, stuff like that. They're saying, be careful what you put online. Cool. Now, it's 2020. We're 25.
Huh?
It's 2022. We're fucking. Well, I was gonna use 2020 to for situations that happen in it, but I'm gonna go fuck it. It's 2022. I'm 25. He old. Anyway, so
Damn.
we're in our mid 20s, mid to late 20s, however you want to say it, but we're mid 20s, hearing the same things that we've heard for over 10 years, still making it. And then this goes for, we'll use the political aspect of it. This goes for both sides of the politics. Everyone says, be careful what you say online, or you'll get banned. All right, cool. Whatever. Fine. These are private things. That also means you too. You have to be careful what you say and what you do online, because it has consequences. If you want to have OnlyFans, great.
Man, you can go ahead, man.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Oh.
If you want to have OnlyFans, it's because Tamel looked at me like I was crazy. If you want to have OnlyFans, that's fine. That's great. Do you? That's your own personal business. But if you work for a company, you got to remember, perception is reality. Do I agree that they should be fired from their jobs if their jobs find out they do OnlyFans? No. But you are working for a company. You represent that company. You know, they say you represent the company if you don't work for the company. Well, sorry. You knew the risk. There you go. You get into a fight at a Walmart and they find out you work at a law firm. You're likely getting fired because you know what? You're bringing a bunch of negativity to the law firm. If you say something sexist or racist or whatever in the past, and it gets brought,
Kyrie.
shut up. If you say something
He not hooping for real.
anti-Semitic, you face the consequences of what. And unfortunately, let's use Kyrie's situation. He shared something that people consider anti-Semitic. Cool. Banned. Well, he got, I don't say fired, but he got suspended. He has to do these little points to get back to the league. He pretty much said, yeah, I ain't doing that. But, which is fine. I have no issue with his suspension because you broke what they consider, you violated their rules. All right, cool. I just think that if it's going to be him, it should be everybody. But whatever. Now you have to do their requirements to get back to being able to play in the league. It's the same thing with his thing with the COVID shot. If you don't get the shot, you can't play. He said, all right, cool. I just won't play there. They set their rules. He set his. He made his decisions. They made theirs. Cool. That's it.
the
Why are we still talking about it? Not us, but like why are we so caught up in trying to prove someone else wrong? They set their rules. He broke them. They gave them their punishment. He either going to fulfill it or he's not.
the reason why is because people place so much emphasis or gives too much power to people who has like a certain following or whatnot. You know,
Boy,
someone that has quote
what?
unquote influence.
And unfortunately, like no matter how, even though they shouldn't, they do. They have some type of influence. I won't say over our lives, but they impact people's lives. That's just a fact of the matter. But
Hmm.
we're humans. People have flaws. So yeah, like stop putting so much. That's why I say don't meet your heroes because these are people at the end of the day. Kyrie has his own beliefs. The world, you have your own. Everyone has their own beliefs. Some might, whether or not you consider anti-Semitic is, yeah, but and then what I don't like is that people and companies play like they care. Nike doesn't care. They do not care about what he said.
You know why? We all know why.
It's just the bottom line is now affected. It's not.
Hmm.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The people who buy Kyrie do not care. If he drop his shoe, they're still going to pay for his shoe. You want to know how I know? Because Nike is not a good corporation when it comes to their stuff anyway. So, and people still buy Nike. I still buy Nike. Everybody still buy from a shitty company. It is life. Was it Brett Favre? Brett Favre stole my money from a bunch of kids, and no one said a word.
Now, Brett Favre stole money from the state, damn near.
Yeah,
Basically,
but
the
that's
state, actually.
and now Casey Anthony got a documentary coming out. It's just I don't know what is happening to the end of 2022. We need to go into next year.
Yeah, and not to mention, I don't remember all their names, but we lost some celebrities this year. I think it was the Harry Potter, the dad from Harry Potter, passed on. Like it's just
J.K.
it's a whole
Rowling, I'm talking about her.
Are you
it's
talking about
it's a
at like the at or something like that?
yeah. So somebody I can't remember his name exactly. Lord forgive me. Had blessed afterlife for
Talking
him.
about a man you don't even know.
I
Sad.
can't remember. I couldn't remember his name, but I know like we lost a lot of people this year. Oh, we also lost the wait. Did we lose? We lost the queen this year, right? She passed away too.
When we talking
Yeah.
about death, when we get to death.
No, like not.
I don't even know
No,
I don't
no,
know
like
what
it's
the
not. No,
color is.
listen, it's not. That's not the whole thing. I'm just saying, like 2022 has been like a. I just, honestly between 2020 and 2022 has been nothing but a roller coaster of up and down and twists and turns. Since COVID hit, we want to all be honest. Everything's all over the place.
That's okay, so I ain't gonna lie. I shed a little tear when Kobe died, but let's stop pretending like these celebrities and these monarchs are any different. Well, they are a little bit, but they're no different from the next person who died. Like rest his soul, Takeoff died in a shooting. You know who else died in a shooting? 40 other motherfuckers.
Someone probably died as we speaking.
Some probably just got shot over something stupid. I'm not saying it's okay. It's not to demoralize his death. It's to show that we only care when we're told to care. Like a perfect example, what's his name? R. Kelly. We've known about R. Kelly since Boondocks days. We've known about R. Kelly since we were kids. Like the situation with R. Kelly. That shit did not matter again until they said, "Yeah, we should start caring again." Too late now. We know he did it. They don't ever come out with it. I mean, we know he did it, so he should be punished for it.
Hey,
Like,
Steve, you gotta chill, man. You gotta be careful.
Careful
black
to
people
who?
know.
No, he has.
Black
He has
people
to be
know.
careful, man. You know, people been suing people for saying things now. You know, that's happening a lot
Nigga,
more
R.
ground.
Kelly.
I have
Listen.
no money, so
Plus, that nigga R. Kelly, substantial evidence. So
We know two things as black people. R. Kelly did it. What the fuck? What? Yeah, we know for sure R. Kelly did it. What's his name? The one with the glove.
Michael
O.J.
Jackson.
No,
Simpson.
not
What?
OJ did
Oh,
it. We know
OJ.
for sure
Well, you
OJ
said
did
the
it.
glove. Wait, you said the glove. I thought it was
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. I was like, wait.
Hey, somebody else said the same shit. Michael Jackson, he just
I don't
what the fuck
believe
he
he
got.
did it. I don't care what nobody say.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did it either. But what I think it is that Michael Jackson never had a childhood.
Mm-hmm.
He never had Michael Jackson's been a celebrity since he was a top. Oh, that's crazy. But since he was a kid, so he's never grown up. Now is that an excuse to have little boys in your damn room? But as long as you ain't touch them, but yeah, somewhere. Let's talk about this little aspect of it for a little bit. Yes, don't do weird shit like that. R. Kelly, go to jail. But you have to remember something also, right? That we keep forgetting about all of these situations. Who are these motherfuckers' parents that allow this to happen? It's not like he went and kidnapped motherfuckers from Chuck E. Cheese
Oh, yeah.
Well,
or from
that all
Pride.
goes back to the perceived power that someone has of influence. Too much emphasis is put on, celebrities or people with like money or whatever, which allows them to get into certain things that no one pushing shouldn't.
Yeah, money will buy you power that you wouldn't have nowhere else, and allows for stupid shit to happen too. But hey, that's life apparently. Whew, it sounds like we started to hit to the end of the podcast because we're kind of just rambling about stupid shit like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, we
Isn't
all
that stupid?
That was that's
kind of
something
all
like
over the place. But I'm actually trying to remember what the topic was supposed to be. Come on.
It was about men stuff
what are the reasons why, like we said earlier, we talked about it, why men often at times when seeking relationship advice and about certain things, we tend to go to, our fellow men versus actually going to seek advice in the dating universe than women.
Oh, let me answer that.
Because women don't know shit. Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
Let
I ain't gonna say that.
no.
It's over here.
Let's
You
keep it a
cancel.
buck, right? No. No. Fuck that.
I'm glad I rejuvenized this.
Have you ever asked a girl something, right? Asked her anything about dating,
Yeah.
and then her response was the complete opposite when you applied it to her.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would I ask you about it? Cause no, oh my god, we need a girl on the podcast for this question. But
it goes back to what I was saying before, where you'll ask a girl what kind of guy that she likes, and she'll make a list of topics, the kind of guy she likes, the kind of guy she wants. But then you go back and you look at the previous 4 people that she's dated, and none of them go in line to the stuff that she was talking about. She wanted a guy.
I don't necessarily like them because they do too fucking much. But there was a good question on the Fresh and Fit podcast, right? This is a really good question. No, they asked them, what kind of guys do you want to date versus what kind of guys do you want to fuck or are you attracted to? Because what you want in a husband might not be what you want in a one-night stand. You ask them what they want in a partner. Okay. And then you look at the last 3 guys. These are probably one-night stand material men that just lasted a little while. Now, I watched the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched the video. He asked the girl this: if you were a guy, how would you ask yourself out? She said whatever fucking answer she said. And then she said, and he asked him, would that work on you? She said, probably not. I'm like, sure, you just gave me advice on how to hit on you with something that wouldn't even work.
See, my thing with that is, like you said, they'll ask the difference between dating a guy and going out and getting a guy that you're just going to have a few one-night stands with. But what happens when they come across the issue when they try to turn those guys who are clearly there for the one night stand, but they're trying to change them into the guy.
Pride. That's what it is. I don't say every. A lot of people think they can change someone into. A lot of people think that they're the person worth changing for.
Like the people who they'll get a relationship with someone who doesn't want kids, and they'll stick with the relationship even though they want kids,
that
and they're hoping,
change.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because they think that they are worth changing for. No, not just men. Not just women. Men do it too. They'll stay with a partner that just isn't good for them because they think they either change or they'll change into whatever it is that they want. Mm-hmm. Or you've seen it. Or I want a bad boy. So now Steve Urkel becomes Stefan Arkea.
I'm dead.
Smooth. But yeah.
or let's go on social media, put them on blast, and then
And then I've even seen videos. Girls say they go on Tinder to get matches just for a dopamine boost. I can still get these likes and these, but they have no actual interest in meeting or talking to any of these people. So why would I get advice from them? You know how you find out how to talk to girls? You talk to them. It's always good to have at least one female friend that's, but usually they should be gay.
Hey,
but
hey, Steve.
No. It's because gay women have a different homosexuals have a different rules. Their ball game is a little different when it comes to dating than heterosexual dating because the man can't pay for the man can't pay all the bills if there's two of them. I'm like, come on now.
I'm dead.
Or the woman can't stay home and take care of the kids if there's two of them. So the rules are a little bit different. But gay women have a different insight to women that a straight man might not have. Because, women are comfortable around women.
Steve.
What?
So look, I was thinking about it too on the topic while we on it. The difference between I don't know if y'all ever been in a moment like this where the nice guy approach didn't work, but you watched a nigga be disrespectful as hell and his approach worked. I'm sitting there, bro. I saw that happen.
That come down to just I was gonna say this earlier with what Steven was saying about females wanting guys that are like one night stand material. We're human. Everybody want to fuck. It's just that for men it's easier to promote that than it is for a female.
So what? Oh yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Now to mention in that particular situation, like you have to be honest. Like a lot of it's mostly women, but not men. I mean, mostly women and some men too. But a lot of people, especially around our age, they like conflict. Like a lot of people entertain. And you also have to keep in mind like where the media is at. A lot of people like that, like destruction. They like that conflict. They like to argue. They like to go back and forth. That's what they want. So when you like right now, like maybe us, but if you could choose between having someone who was just an automatic people pleaser, just give you any and everything you want, just at the snap of a finger, versus someone who's going to give you a little bit of pushback, that pushback is more entertaining than that individual who's just going to sit there and lay over and do whatever you say.
I'm going to take that pushback. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah. And that's just like for majority of women, especially at this age, because a lot of women in their 20s, they want I'm not trying to label it, but bad boys. They want someone who's going to give them pushback. They want someone who's going to argue. They want someone who's going to give them a little bit of a hard time versus that guy who's just going to be like, oh, yeah, sweetie, yeah, I'll give you whatever you want, whatever you say. Oh, you want me to go pick this up for you at this time? Yeah, I can do that. They want that guy to be like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. It's late as hell. You can go do that yourself or order it. Like, which one do you really think they're going to go for? That goes back to what I was saying. You have to have a certain level of self-respect and put your foot down. because that's more appealing to a woman than the guy who's just gonna sit there and lay there and take it.
That's really the difference between the whole nice guy, bad boy shit. Is that the bad boy is generally more masculine and dominant than the nice guy. He's no, not just men, no, not just women, but nobody, unless you're like a narcissist, wants someone that's gonna roll over and just do whatever they want. That is, if I wanted that, I'd get a dog.
Yeah, and understand when I say bad boy, I mean like don't be a dickhead. Don't be just a straight, asshole. But just like be in the middle where you give some pushback. You stand up for yourself,
Stand your
or you just
ground.
make it known. So
And remember, let's just keep it a buck of bean. The nice guy might not be attractive. Their looks matter. I ain't gonna lie to you. Looks will allow you to do certain things that someone attractive can get away with. Certain shit unattractive people can't get away with. Man or woman. Let's just cut. It's life.
Big
yeah, I
facts.
mean that's the way.
Big
That's
facts.
statistically a fact.
Funny, bro.
People who are deemed attractive get away with more than people who aren't.
Bruh, hey,
It is what it
Steve,
is.
when I seen the girls like simping over
That light skinned dude that came out of jail.
no, not him, Jeffrey Dahmer. People,
Oh,
I
okay,
saw
okay,
that,
nah,
bro.
nah,
I
nah,
said,
see,
what
nah,
the
We're
hell?
we're, we're
that
talking
is-
about some weirdos.
Nah, that's
just
no,
niggas that
those
like
people.
fucking serial killers, Tumblr girls. Not all of them, but
You talking about teenage
Bro,
girls that
Yeah.
say
some
stupid?
of them
Like
were
that's
lost.
not
Lord, have mercy.
That's usually teenage girls that say stupid shit like that, bro. I'm like, bro, shut up.
Yeah, that's not bad, boy. That's just psychological. Like,
That's what that is. That is people becoming so desensitized. Wow, to people being killed and like to what a murderer is. That comes from being sheltered. To be honest with you.
Yeah, cause you
But
look on
yeah.
social media, bro. You would think that like he ain't did nothing wrong ever in his life. The way social media comments be.
No, it's not just Jeffrey Dahmer because I remember there was this teenager or young dude. He was like, but around the age of 22,
the one who ran over.
who was racing on the highway and killed a family of 3 or something like that. And people like he should get a second chance because he's cute. Life, that's what. But guys are the same way. And you see a hot girl that's especially if she's a teacher that sexually assaulted a young dude. Oh, he lucky. No, he's not. He's a victim. What are you talking about?
Speaking of that, that's I guess maybe something we can discuss later down the road, but a little bit more in another episode. But how do you guys feel about the justice system when it comes to men versus female, where you see females do the exact same thing a man would do and get 10 years, but the female would get like three or 2?
it honestly depends because I saw this one Netflix documentary just came out about this female bodybuilder that had killed her husband, other female
Yeah, I
bodybuilder
think.
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she got like 20 plus years.
But like we always used to get on Mike about, you can't use exceptions for the rule. I'm not trying to say, but
Because I've seen
that's what he said is it's a actual fact. That's not like an honorary. That's an actual fact. Women are statistically less likely to get charged with the same
They are.
charged less time.
For sure. Yeah.
That's just a fact, to be honest with you.
In fact, let's hit home. Let's talk about I know something more personal to me and Steve about how the justice system is when it considers children in custody battles.
Hold on. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh no, Steve.
Not that.
Well, what happened, Steve,
What's
man?
going
You
on,
tell us
Steve?
something?
Man, you good, bro?
I said the fuck. Hold on. I said, hold on. Do I need to go text this girl?
That's why I really came
I
here.
said, hold on. What the hell, sir? She take it. She charge $200 a week. Take it. Fine.
But yeah, I just know that for me and you. I know me speaking, that was a weird issue for me, seeing as though it was me and my brothers, and my mother had custody of us, but we were never living with her. So explain to me how my dad went to court to get for her to get custody and pay her child support if my entire life we were spending it more with my dad and my mom. I was seeing my mom probably about 4 times out of the month. So I know there's a lot of stories like that with other people around my age. So
Justice system is not geared towards black men, especially because what did Killer Mike say? It was Killer Mike, T.I., Candace Owens, and I think somebody else. But Killer Mike said that in every society there are slaves, and our society is those in prison. If you know how like the prison system works, and guess who spent most of their time in prison? People of color. It's not is what it is. It has some changes to do with it, but we get a lot. And there's also that's why I don't say hate, but I'm tired of seeing stuff like Empire or stuff like Power or The Shot, like all these Hollywood movies where black people are killing each other.
You either see that or you see slave movies.
Exactly, we're more than thugs and slaves.
or the in between Tyler Perry.
And then you got Tyler Perry movies. He's joking, but let's be honest. Tyler Perry movie. I'm watching a Tyler Perry TV show with one of my friends, and what you can clearly tell with Tyler Perry is probably just his way to get black women into things, into like Hollywood. But you create this black woman versus black man thing going on. Almost every one of his movies, black woman victim because something a black man did.
Yeah,
But you don't never see
light skin dude, cool.
and then hold on, let me think. I'm trying to think of black movies. Yeah, no, that was for Color Girls.
What about the Butler?
What about Acrimony? Was Acrimony by Tyler Perry? Yeah, Tyler Perry, Acrimony. That was a pretty good one. That one actually showed the black woman kind of out of her goddamn mind. Did anyone die in that movie? Oh yeah.
What about the one he was with Beyonce?
Obsession?
Yeah.
Did Tyler Perry write that?
No.
Hey, we talking about Tyler Perry right now.
Oh, okay. I thought
that movie old. That's like that movie came out like 20 years ago. When she threw the white bitch over the black.
Damn, bro. That actually makes me think, bro. Like, damn, we are old, bro.
Well, we can say we've seen a movie that came out 20 years ago. We're old enough to say we saw a movie when it first. Like, let me think.
Them Spider-Man movies, man.
Spider-Man movie came out in
Tobey Maguire.
Oh, see, look.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never felt so old when Tobey Maguire came on screen, and the whole theater was lit for Andrew Garfield. Only a few people had something for Tobey Maguire. I'm like, damn.
In his defense, though, like when we was watching him, we was still like kids. This man was a grown adult when he did the first Spider-Man.
I know, but still, he's our Spider-Man though, because we were kids. We were like infatuated with fucking Spider-Man. He was Spider-Man.
I don't know. I feel like Tobey Maguire should have came out first.
That's what I'm saying.
He should have came out first.
Yeah, but
it would have gave that. Like whatever. Which something completely different, but yeah. and then his bat and it. Yeah.
Shooting his webs, how you shoot me.
And then they had a little. Does it come out anywhere else? No. Oh. Okay, let's talk. Well, we pretty much done the podcast, so we'll talk about this after we get done because I want to bitch about Spider-Man now. Well, we ain't got any last words. You're talking about last words, like we finna get ready to fight.
I don't know. Love yourself.
Yeah, I agree with what F said.
Everybody, just put your arms out. Wrap yourself, get yourself a nice big old hug. Well, I guess I'm the only one doing it. Yes, sir.
I will say one good thing all of us men need to do, starting wise, if we really want to start making changes in our lives and do better. Take this to heart. I know it sounds simple, but clean your room.
Oh, well, damn, nigga, you could have just told me. You could have said that. You could have said that.
Not. It could be
That's crazy. You could just say that shit. Hey, it's not that bad.
Not that. You know what I mean. Clean your room.
Nah, because your room is your palace. Your palace is where your mind sits. And if your room is cluttered, your mind gonna be cluttered.
So yeah.
I got some advice. Don't let people have such easy access to you, whether it's your mind, whether it's your body, or your finances. Don't don't be so easily accessible.
Try not to be too stiff either. Be understanding. Sometimes it's okay to bend.
Just don't break, especially the bank, because you ain't never seen it getting that shit back. Like that's
It's
experience.
hey man, you're rich, man. Look, I need $10,000 to fund this. What?
Whoa, man, you the rich. You the rich.
I said, wait, what? It's like 10,000. Wait,
Shit, man, let me.
Wait.
Hey, Mike, send me some goddamn
wait,
do
hold
that,
on,
man.
bro. You need 10K, bro. Wait. What?
I mean,
Nah,
hey,
you
you out
take
here
it.
moving coffee, man.
What?
That Colombian
You out here
stuff,
moving
the good
coke,
stuff, man.
man.
You
You
know.
talking about
What am-
10K?
What am I
Yeah,
gonna
This
give
man,
me
get?
this
some
man
money,
Mike
man.
moving
My
drugs, man.
store.
What am I gonna get back from this
That
investment, my brother? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. Understand what's going on?
And what you invested in Forex?
I'm dead.
It's time to go.
I'm dead.
10K, but if you ask me for 10K, you better be. I don't know why you would think to ask me for something stupid like that.
Mike got the platinum
Nah,
card.
I don't, bro. Chill out.
His shit go bang when he hit the table. That shit sound like. Oh, well, I got
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. And when I put it on when I put the card on the table the other day, Steve, I slammed that bitch, bro. I slammed that bitch down, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That nigga said I ain't gonna lie and then didn't say shit. I ain't gonna lie, so I ain't gonna talk.
My man had a stroke.
Oh, no, that was funny. Alright, man. Well, we ain't got nothing else to say.
Oh, and F is lying to y'all. I did not participate in no drugs, sir.
Wait, what?
What you mean, bro? You selling drugs? Coffee or drugs?
Man, F, shut your ass up.
Oh, no, if you out here moving weight, let me know so I know not to go to
Yeah, he
put you
moving
in my
coffee.
car.
Coffee's a drug.
Cut
Oh,
it, bro.
my Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
That ain't moving nicotine. That ain't going
Coffee,
crazy. That ain't got
And
Something like that.
F, you got F.
He
Listen,
said, hey, I got them beans for you, dog. Hey, I got them. Hey, that shit. Hey, decaf.
Yeah.
I'm
This
supposed
is
to
bean
do
water.
that.
This is bean water. Get you right.
F, bro, look, bro, you
What?
gotta shut up. You gotta shut up before the
I know you
FBI
be
pull up
coming
on me,
home
bro. Shut
smelling like
up.
straight. I know you be coming home smelling like straight coffee. Smell like
Bro,
a Keurig
hey.
kettle.
I mean, you heard about that dude at McDonald's, right?
I
dude
know.
who
I
was at
had to
draft
take this nigga home
McDonald's bag.
a couple times.
Don.
Alright, but before we start babbling, this shit be a 2-hour
Oh,
podcast.
Lord, that's true.
Black Summer is out.
Do all the things the other YouTubers tell y'all to do, you know, like
Well, that's terrible.
comment, subscribe, post notifications, whatever
my bad.
all that stuff you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? For channels that you like, you know what I'm saying? I know you like this channel. Let's be real. Go.
Yeah.
Be sure to
Favorite
like,
channel, favorite
subscribe, and hit that
podcast.
noti bell.
You already know. Anything else y'all want to add before we get off of here?
But I thought can we leave? Damn, this shit longer than
It's like a black sermon,
we
bro.
at
It's like church. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. You gonna miss your Sunday night game, bro. I'm sorry.
It's like church, boy. Oh shit, ain't there a football game right now? Yeah, we gotta go.
Yes,
Oh, it's
39.
9.
All right, peace out.